Blog Talk Radio.
Hi, everybody that's listening. You're listening to Conservative is Cool Talk Radio. I'm your host, Wayne Bradley. I hope you're listening this evening. I want to say a special thank you to everybody in Massachusetts that made the right decision. It looks like Brown won, and Coakley just gave her concession speech. So thank you for the people in Massachusetts for making the right decision. It looks like the people want their country back and want to go in the right direction here. So I hope that everybody's listening this evening. I appreciate you for following me. It's been a good 2 days here. We're going to talk more about Brown and what's that mean to this health care bill. That's the first issue of the evening. It looks like now that Brown is going to be in there, Obama's going to have a real issue with getting this health care bill passed now. They lose the filibuster power to get things done now with a Republican senator replacing Kennedy's seat. And let's get some numbers here. I just want to see what we're looking at as far as what the last numbers were. He was up about 52 to 47%. The last time I checked, about 50% of the people in. But she, like I said, Coakley's given her concession speech already. So we're moving in a new direction. And again, let's thank the people of Massachusetts for at least at this point giving us a chance to look at this bill a little more closely. They're going to probably fight that. Knowing the Democrats, everything's going to end in court. So they're going to probably try to contest this as much as possible. But again, a victory for Brown is really a victory for America. It gives us another chance to stall this health care bill. And I want to thank everybody that's listening out there this evening. Hope you're listening on the show. The call-in number is 347-996-3175. Go ahead and take a look here. I'm going to also be starting up the Ustream broadcast soon. I hope that everyone can hear me this evening. We switched up the format as far as our calling, so we should be having a lot more clear reception, a lot more clear broadcast here. I'm also going to be going to Ustream very shortly. We have this evening on Blog Talk Radio, if you're listening, we also, I believe, have the actual live chat going on. So I think we already have a caller calling in, so let me take this call. Caller, you're on the air. Caller?
Hey.
Hey, caller, you're on the air.
Hi. Yeah, I just, I'm really, really happy about the whole Massachusetts voting. It is one of the best things ever to happen. And I don't know, were you listening to Wolf Blitzer tonight?
I was actually getting ready for the broadcast. What did Wolf Blitzer say?
From what I heard, he was saying how geographically speaking, Massachusetts isn't really a Democratic state.
Right, just Boston probably primarily.
Yeah,
right.
He was saying it's more of a conservative Republican era.
Right.
And I just wanted to know, well, what source is he getting that from? MSNBC? I don't see it.
No, well, I mean, what they're probably talking about is geographically in certain district areas. But, largely, Massachusetts has been known to be a Democratic state.
Yeah.
Liberal. But, what he's talking about in this situation is the fact that Boston as a city, the urban areas, minorities and that sort of thing did not come out and vote this time for Coakley.
Yeah.
And again, it's kind of, that's reflecting what's going on. It was a big election when Obama won as president, and so people came out and supported him then. But in this scenario here, where you're looking at someone that, is not Obama, people that did not come out and support him. It doesn't sound like support Coakley. So these are the results you get. The suburbs and surrounding areas of Boston had a very strong turnout, and it has probably a lot to do with why things are the way they are. So that would explain the reason why Brown won and Coakley lost. And where are you calling? What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Coco.
Coco, how you doing?
Good. It's good. But I also think it's funny though that every time Obama campaigns for someone, they end up losing.
That's what I just posted on Twitter. It looks like
I swear it's like I guess he's really not the Messiah that they all hoped for.
He's losing the magic touch out there. So.
Well, I mean, did you see Kerry out there? Did you see Kerry at Coakley at the Coakley?
Well, he was with them giving the concession speech, huh?
Yeah, he was on crutches, and I think I have a theory why that is.
Why is that?
I think he was running away from Rachel Maddow and her fist.
Oh yeah, Rachel Maddow. I heard she was very upset. I've been reading tweets all evening. Like I said, I was kind of getting ready for the show, so I didn't get to see the end of everybody having to accept the bad news over MSNBC. But they'll get over it. They've got a little more time to try to rally the troops. It'll be a very interesting 2010. And Coco, don't you complain about that bad weather out there in California.
Hey, we have a tornado warning.
It'll probably be over tomorrow, and it'll be nice and warm again. You know, you can't complain if someone lives in Michigan in January about bad weather in California. I won't have it.
Okay.
I won't have it. Well, I thank you for calling in.
Thank you.
Like I said, I appreciate you calling in. Let's all enjoy this evening. Thank the voters of Massachusetts, because they're the ones that really have helped out our country. So thanks for calling in, and we're watching. They're live on the radio and on Ustream this evening.
All right, thank you.
All right, have a good evening. God bless you.
God bless you too. Bye.
Bye-bye. Yes, indeed. The people of Massachusetts have spoke, and I think the Democrats better take heed to what's going on here. I would be very afraid if I was a liberal right now or a Democrat, period, because if you can lose in Massachusetts as a Democrat, you can lose anywhere. So listen, you guys can't take it for granted. What was considered a Democratic state, you now have people losing, and Obama and his team better get it together. You better start listening to the people. That's the only advice I can give you. I don't want to give you political advice, just common sense advice. Start listening to the people. The people have spoken. It does not look like they want. If any state is familiar with the whole health care fiasco and things that can be done wrong with the health care debate, it is the state of Massachusetts. So the people have spoken. That's the best way I can put it. I'm glad everybody. Thank you for everybody that's watching me on Ustream on Conservatives Cool TV. We're live online. If you want to call in, also the number's 347-996-3175. That's the call-in number. I want to hear from people this evening about the Brown victory, and I'm going to get on to some other events soon. But I think that the point being is that the people have spoken. We really need to pay heed to that instead of just doing what we consider what the politicians want to do and not actually listening to the people. These are the things that happened. Another Boston Tea Party. This is 2010, and again, I want to say thank you for the voters in Massachusetts for making that happen. 2010 is going to be a good year. I can already see it. Can't ask for anything better than that. The second thing I'm going to talk about this evening was the event that I spoke at last evening, which was a tea party in Carroll, Michigan. I want to say thank you for everyone out there that let me speak up there. I really had a good time, and I hope that I can come back out there again. I really had a good time talking to people. It was a small group, and you really got the idea of the feeling of grassroots organizations and the things that you're going to have to do as citizens to get your voice heard. We actually had a Senator Khan showed up and actually sat in on the meeting. I want to thank you for actually showing up, because a lot of times these politicians don't want to do that, and this was at a very small meeting in a home in Carroll, Michigan. So again, thank you for everybody that invited me out there to speak, and it was a great experience. And just the idea of what the Tea Parties have done over since the beginning of, I want to say, in the summer last year to where it is now. What I see for the future is maybe more of a conservative watchdog. I don't think that Democrats really care about Tea Parties. They don't take them seriously. I do notice that Republicans in general are at least more receptive to what's going on with the Tea Parties, because it's not really meant to be strictly a Republican thing. I think it's more of an American thing. It's not a Republican or a Democrat thing. It's an American thing. So I really enjoyed that. And again, I'll play the video of that later so everyone can see it. But it was real good. I think we got a caller here calling in, and I'm going to take the second call here. Caller, you're on the air. Caller. Caller, you're on the air. Can you hear me? Hello. Well, we got somebody. Looks like they were trying to call in from in the Lansing area. If you can hear me, give me a call. I see you calling in. Let me try it again. Caller, you're on the air. All right, I'm gonna hang up and have you try to give me a call back. So I'm the one-man band over here, working the switchboard, giving the commentating. So sometimes we take a break to try to catch the callers, because this is really what it's about, is actually getting the voice of the American people out here. Again, I want to thank everybody out in Carroll, Michigan for inviting me up there. I had a great time, and I hope to do that again. It all starts with the grassroots organizations and the people on the ground being mobile. There were a lot of people that were bussed into Massachusetts to help and get people motivated, and I think that's the kind of thing you're going to have to see all over the country if we want to make, if you want to make a difference. It doesn't matter how many people it is in the beginning. It takes a lot of the folks. So I'm getting another call here. Let me take this call. Caller, you on the air?
Yes, Wayne.
This is Wayne. How you doing?
Oh, pretty good, sir. This is Patrick Sanders. I was trying to call in before and hadn't hit the one button.
How you doing,
I just
Patrick?
want to call in and listen tonight and see what kind of comments were coming through tonight.
Yeah, we're kind of just talking right now about about Brown winning in Massachusetts and how that's a big blow to the current administration, and like I said, it might impede on that health care bill. And that's kind of like we were talking about that early on. Have you been listening online, or are you just calling in just now?
I'm just getting a call in now. I've been listening to the news mostly so far.
Okay. What did you think about about Brown winning in Massachusetts?
It was needed.
It was needed.
It was a definite needed win.
Yes, indeed. It was something that I think it's going to send a lot of messages to a lot of these Democrats and the liberals and all over the country. If you can lose in Massachusetts, no one's safe.
Well, it helped to balance the power, I would think, mostly, because there's no bipartisanship at all right now.
Well, and that was what I guess in the beginning we were looking for change. That was the kind of thing that I was hoping we could, that to me would have represented change. Working together, not turning your back on one party or the other. And that's essentially everything that's been going on since the beginning. So now I guess they're going to have to actually earn that vote. If they're going to pass anything now at this point, they're going to have to really put together a solid bill, and I don't see that happening because it just hasn't, like you said, hasn't been any balance, and they've kind of just done everything with almost immunity. They can do whatever they want, create whatever kind of bill, and no one's challenging whether it be in the Senate or the House or on the media, for that matter.
That's what's scary.
Very scary. Very scary. Where are you calling from, Patrick?
I'm calling from just outside Lansing, Michigan, the capital.
All right. Yeah, I went to Michigan State, so I'm very familiar with the area. And my wife is from the area.
Well, I hope you're rooting for our Spartans in basketball this year.
Oh, definitely. My Chris Allen's my cousin, so I'm rooting for the Spartans.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yes, indeed. Well, how long have you listened to the show? This is the first time listening in?
No, my first time listening in, you had a call come through that kind of just blew me away, so I had to get off. The first comment I heard, it was kind of, I won't even go into it.
Oh, it was a previous show?
Yes.
I can almost imagine who it was, so I can imagine the call who it could have been. But Like I said, we get calls from all over, and I like to always tell people I don't mind the calls. I'll answer the questions as best as I can. If it's too out of bounds, I'll let them know. But that's the whole.
That one was kind of out of bounds. I think I could tell in your voice you kind of had a little problem with it yourself.
Yeah, I think I know what call that was. You gotta take them. You gotta take the good with the bad sometimes. Most of the people have been good. So I appreciate you calling in and listening to the show. If you can, check out the website and try to become a member so we can all keep in touch and I can email you. Are you following me on Twitter?
Yes, I'm following you on Twitter and Facebook.
Excellent. All right. Well, thanks for calling in. I hope you continue to enjoy the show. If you want to, you can also see it. I'm doing the show on Ustream and on Blog Talk Radio this evening. So I appreciate you listening in and spread the word.
Okay, then. And, hey, you take care and keep your work going, Wayne.
Thank you. God bless you.
You're doing a good job.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Bye-bye. I appreciate the words of encouragement. At the meeting last night, I've had nothing but positive responses and encouragement for the most part. Every now and then I get somebody that, on Twitter, with over 14,000 people following you, you're bound to have a couple people, say some things that are just, ignorant, and you can't fault them for that. You got to just pray for them and move on. But for the most part, I've had a great response. Again, like last evening in Carroll, Michigan, a place that, like I said, I'd never heard of before. Went up there, gave a speech, and people were really receptive to the message of getting involved, activism from the standpoint of every person makes a difference if we're vigilant and diligent with our efforts. So I appreciate everyone that's watching on Ustream and also listening on Blog Talk Radio. If you have any comments about the election, what does it mean in 2010? What does it mean in 2012? Give me a call, 347-996-3175. I think it's a big issue with the fact that people are begging for change. People want, I don't think when they voted for Obama, this was the kind of change they wanted. And now, I almost want to say it was a hand gift, gift present by the president, and with some of the wild things that have gone on in the last year with all the different policy changes. And now at this point, voters are making it clear how they feel, and I think you can ignore it as much as you want, but come election time, and this is again the message I was teaching, everybody's going to be accountable. A lot of these politicians act like that their job is cannot be taken from them, and I think as the American people, it's up to us to remind them that their jobs can be taken at any given election period if you're not staying true to your word and looking out for the benefit of the American people. So that is where we stand on that right now. And I want to thank the voters of Massachusetts, thank everyone that got involved, all the different Tea Parties and organizers that drove out to Massachusetts, got people motivated to want to come out and vote. It's cold out there, and this was a big voting period. And I think again, people saw that if Obama was not involved per se in the election, it was not a big turnout in Boston, and that's where Coakley she lost because the turnout wasn't where they thought it was going to be. And see, that's another issue that I've always had with Democrats is they take the minority vote for granted and just figure, okay, if we pop Obama in for a minute, we'll get all of Boston to vote for us, and maybe we can swing things that way. And unfortunately, that for them that did not happen. At some point, the conservatives and African American conservatives that message is gonna start hitting home that the only time these guys are caring about you, as far as our community is come election time when they just need to vote. And this time that didn't work, and I think that's where Coakley realized it, and it sounded like her advisors realized that early in the day that the White House and the administration let them down. They didn't get enough push from the Democratic Party, and the DNC has quickly renounced it and said they gave a full effort. And I'm sure again Obama's not going to take any blame for that. That's not what he does. So again, all the politicians, I would take heed to this. You can lose your job in a state where you think you're comfortable, Democrat or Republican. Don't take your job for granted. Listen to the people. You're getting emails, you're getting letters from the people. Listen to them. I found out yesterday the equivalent of one person of calling the senator is they looked at it as 50 people. And if you write a letter, that's the equivalent of 200 people. So they take people calling and take your letters seriously. I think that, of course, a lot of these politicians probably would not want you to know that because they don't really want us to do that. They would prefer us not to continue the way we've been doing, which is stay in the dark, not ask questions, and hope and have faith in, I guess, in our politicians that they're going to do the right thing. And so far, they just have not done that. So, again, the message would be is if it can happen in Massachusetts, it can almost happen anywhere. The only person who's probably not all that worried right now is maybe Nancy Pelosi out in San Francisco. She's probably the only one that's feeling like she can't be touched right now as far as the voting constituency out there. And she might be right, but Harry Reid in Nevada, he's done. Like I said, I was saying on Twitter earlier, he needs to start shining up the resume. Because 2010 is going to be a rough year. Thank you for everyone that's listening and watching on Ustream. I really appreciate it. This is my blog talk radio show, so you're really just watching me. Me personally, I'd rather just do the show. I guess if you want to see what I look like, you can watch it on Ustream. But I'm doing this again is to get people to call in and get involved. I want to hear how people are feeling about this. I know a lot of people have got to be excited about the Brown victory, and again, it's a wake-up call for the politicians out there to start paying attention to what people want, start paying attention to what people are saying, and maybe only then you might be able to keep your job. So I'm sending out some tweets now, letting everybody know I'm live on Ustream, letting everybody know. Call in 347. 347-996-3175. Even if you're watching me on Ustream right now, how you doing? See, I got a couple viewers. If you're watching on Ustream right now, you can also give me a call in live, and we can talk it out. 347-996-3175. The big news story of the day is Brown winning. Coakley already giving her concession speech, and you got to think that this is not good news for the Obama administration because they lose filibuster power with this senator not regaining a Democratic seat. So the health care bill in general is up for debate, and at this point it could totally be defeated. So. A lot of people, again, will look at that as a victory for the country. And I want to before that last call, I just wanted everybody to know that when I went up there to Carroll to do that speech, like I said, I posted it live so you can check it out. I think that the people, when I listen to people, I think that's the best thing we can do as a country, as people, is to start calling wherever you are in America. Call your senators, call your congressmen, show up at the offices. We pay for those offices, we pay for those buildings, so you have every right to be there. Always remain peaceful, don't break any rules or any laws, but be diligent and be resilient. If you're calling once or twice a week, before that week is out or 2 weeks is out, those assistants and those people will know who you are, and you might be getting on their nerves, but that's okay. That's what we're here. You have the right to do that. So I can't encourage people enough that having the senator there and actually say that again, makes me believe that that's one of the best ways we can do it. That's why I host this show, is to kind of give people an opportunity to call in. Over the next month, I'm going to start having more guests coming on the show, congressmen and candidates from all across the country, people we can identify with as quality conservative candidates, whatever state. I want to hear from you if you are in the political field and you're running for a position, and you seem that, and you know what the agenda is of the American people, that if you have the ideas to get us in the right direction, I want to hear from you. I've got some good Twitter friends that are running for positions in different states, and I want to get them on the show to not only so they can give their message for their people, but just so we can see that there are people in this country that are trying to move in the right direction, to understand what it's going to take to be what I consider true conservatives, try to keep the governments out of our business as much as possible, small government, less spending, less taxation. These are things that, again, we all should want, but we all it has to be processed the right way and given to people the right way. So thank you, everyone that's listening this evening on Conservatives Cool Talk Radio. I'm going to see if we got any calls. I was on Twitter for a minute there. Hope I didn't miss anybody's calls. The call-in number is 347-996-3175. I want to give shouts out to Vanessa out there in Baltimore. How you doing? I know you said you were listening this evening, said you couldn't call in. Well, thank you for listening in and listening in on the show. Appreciate it. Let's see. Thank you for everyone that's retweeting and having people listening in on the show this evening. I appreciate that. The bottom line is on this issue is that this week, between last week's show and this week's show, it was found out that the unions and people were going to have to pay what they call a Cadillac plan tax to help cover the health care bill. And essentially, anyone who has a good job and you have health care benefits, that would qualify under what Obama's plan would be considered the Cadillac plan. So Richard Trumke, the president of the AFL-CIO, quickly went up to Washington, D.C., threatened to not support the Democratic Party, and lo and behold, there's an exemption for them. And again, I'm happy for the people and my friends, my family that work for the Big Three and union workers that are going to be exempt. But what about the rest of the country that does not have a union, doesn't have anybody to represent them? It's kind of unfair to them. I mean, if you just work at, I don't know, IBM or AT&T or anywhere that does not have a union job, and you have what they call a Cadillac plan, you're going to be stuck paying the bill. So I think there's people that need to understand that. You got a lot of young people out here that don't have health insurance that all of a sudden now could be forced to paying health insurance, and if not, they could also, you might go to jail. So I mean, again, this is not typically the way America works, but this is part of the change that some people envisioned as good, the socialism, the free, the entitlement programs that the government is steadily, again, making more in debt to our country, and is not, helping us out. We have to do things that, again, to get us in the right direction, and that's what we're pushing for right now. So give me a call, 347-996-3175. We've had a few callers calling in so far this evening. We're talking mostly about Brown and how this is going to affect the health care debate. I don't really think that it will pass now because of that. I mean, it was very close before with all, with the Democrats in majority and everything. So I don't think this bill is going to go through now. And it's not to say that something won't go through, but they're going to really have to work at it now. They're not going to just be able to pass anything through. I think us as Americans should all be grateful for that, because at the end of the day, we're all flipping the bill for this. So, so far so good. And again, 2010 is going to be a big year. Check out what we got going on here on Twitter. I hope that people appreciate the fact that I try to, on my show, I try to be fair. There's enough blame and criticism to go around to spread to both parties, but in essence, right now, the Democrats are in charge, so it's fair to place the blame on them. They're the ones in charge. They're the ones that need to be making these changes and doing things the right way. So we're looking out to our leaders, and again, if you saw what happened in Massachusetts tonight, you know there's a good chance now that you're going to have to work a lot harder and work with the people. Come back home to your state. Stop spending so much time in D.C. Figuring out ways to waste people's hard-earned money and listen to the people in their respective states and what they're concerned about. You'd be a fool to think that we don't do anything about the health care problems we have in this country. But let's go about it in a smart and effective way. You don't knock out the whole kitchen just to fix a sink, and that's kind of like where I look at it. We're doing too much right now. I think the president could do more to focus on job creation and ways to bring in and give maybe tax breaks to big companies that might inspire them to hire more. I mean, only in those situations, again, big companies don't need many tax breaks right now, but if it can spark motivation and research to get new jobs in new areas, we really need to focus on that. I'm not a big guy on green products and green technology, but the one thing that I think we all can agree on is that we have a reliance, a dependency on oil that could cripple our country, that's made it a security risk, and we need to do something to move on that, whether it be batteries. I'm more of a person that thinks we probably need to drill more around our country, but again, the environmentalists kind of have a stranglehold on that scenario, so we can't drill and dig now in all the places that we need to. But that would be my suggestion to anybody, to look for. We need to be looking at jobs that are involved in alternative fuels and that sort of thing, because that is a new economy. That's something, again, that can spark growth, new jobs, and that is the kind of focus that our president needs to focus on, not as much as entitlement programs and figuring out ways to waste people's hard-earned money. So I appreciate people who are listening in this evening. We usually have people calling in, listening from all over the country, sometimes in Canada and in the Caribbean too. So thank you for everybody that's listening. I hope you're enjoying the show. Let me see if we got anybody in the chat room. I'm going to go to the chat room on my Blog Talk Radio. Let's see if we can get anybody. What's going on out there? Join me if you're listening to me right now on Blog Talk Radio. I'm going to jump into the chat room for a minute just to see if we got anybody in there. Feel free to join me in there, and we'll probably start doing that even after the show, is doing more chatting to really go further on the topics of the day. But again, I appreciate everybody that's listening and also watching live on Ustream. I believe that with the whole Tea Party movement that we saw, and I think that people might not want to, the liberals have been quick to ignore them and call them all kind of names, racist and crazy people and all that, and that's the exact opposite of what I saw last evening. And from what I've really got an understanding of, it's that people want politicians that are going to be honest with them. It doesn't really matter if you're a Democrat or Republican. It's going to be in certain areas and certain districts that it's going to be more conservative-leaning Democrats in that area. It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or a Republican. You have to be honest to the people that have put you into power. We're trustees, and we're the ones that elect these people, and it's time that they remember that and remember to be accountable to the people that have put them in power. We as the people put them in power to be elected. Now these businesses and things like that, they help them market them and put them in front of us. But at the end of the day, we have the decision to vote for the people that we want and the people that make us most comfortable. So I think that we have to really push more to ask questions, show up to town hall meetings, because these things are available. Email your leaders in your area, because that's the only way that if you really want change and you want to put things in your own hands, That's the way you're going to do it. Yesterday was Martin Luther King's birthday, and I couldn't think of a better way. I'm sure Dr. King would have been very happy with the idea of me doing a speech in a rural area in Michigan. And again, people not judging me for the color of my skin, but for the content and my character and the things that I talk about on the show about being a good conservative, a Christian first, a conservative second, a Republican third. I think that's the way we need to start looking at things. Of course, as a Christian, I want to help people. I want to do it within my power to help people be in a better position, but when I rather do that myself. I trust myself to do that more than I trust the government to do it. That's the bottom line when it comes to helping others. I honestly believe that I can do better. Third-party organizations other than the government can do a better job of that. And that's how I feel about when it comes to a lot of these programs. I know that in healthcare, if people are sick and they go to an emergency room and they don't have insurance, it falls on the hospitals and then it falls back to us anyway. So, I mean, it's not realistic to think that we can't do anything, but again, we have to make it a solid plan, something that we can all look at. And, I wish they'd throw it on C-SPAN at this point, and maybe the second round of this, it will be put on C-SPAN. Next month, I really look forward to bringing on some guests on the show so people can call in and either ask questions or, there's more to listen to besides just me talking the evening regarding the state of our country. I think it's important that we start asking our leaders to come on here because even again, if it's only 50 or 100 people listening to this show, and I believe we've had about 700 people listening, to my radio show. We get about 1,000 people, 1,200 people a month to the website. I mean, these are small numbers, but if all those people are involved and they're all reaching out, bringing in other people, those numbers grow pretty quickly. So I always keep that in mind when you're thinking of if you're in your town, and this is what I encourage people to do. If you're in your town and you're interested in organizing events, don't be discouraged by the first time or the second time. And the turnout's low, and you might not have as many people there as you want. You might have friends that say they'll be there and don't show up. Don't be discouraged. Keep going, because at some point, if you're talking the truth and people are interested in that, and you're someone people can trust, you will have people coming to your events. And so I'll be hopefully soon going to some other speaking engagements for the GOP and for Tea Party events because, again, I don't think this is all about just a Republican thing. I think that for the most part, the reason why Republicans will gravitate more to it is because of the conservative values and the roots of Tea Parties and not wanting to be tread upon and spending and keeping the budget and the government small. These are all things that are consistent, was supposed to be consistent with the GOP and our party. So, and I think that's another way that the Tea Parties can serve use is by being a watchdog for the Republicans that are not acting like conservatives or Republicans, spending in a way that will be consistent with Democrats and liberals. So. I think that's good. I think that way it keeps the focus on the issues, and the people that say they're going to do something, they're going to be held to that. So give me a call if you're listening. Anybody in Carroll, 347-996-3175. Let me know how you had a good time at the event. I really had a good time. Give me a call. All right, back to business here, and I'm going to check Twitter and see what else we got going on out here. Scott Brown said it was all of us against the machine. That's true. It is true. The machine was there, and it was very impressive to see that that Brown, Scott Brown actually pulled this off, and Democrats, again, have got to be thinking now, what do they do next? I would be very concerned. If you can't win in Massachusetts in a Senate race that was held by Kennedy, what seat do you have that's safe? I think it's the House is 49 positions over, might even be close to 100 positions over in the next year, 2010 elections, and a lot of these places where McCain won, meaning that it's already shown propensity that Republicans can win in these districts and these areas. So it might be too late for a lot of the libs, but my advice again would be to start sticking to your word and also looking out for the people. If we're looking for smaller government, less intrusive government, probably don't need health care and involving the IRS to make sure that we're paying for health care. So important times in our country, and sometimes, at the end of the day, you put it in God's hands, and we pray for all our leaders. I always encourage that. I don't want to make it seem like it's just a hate fest on one person or the current administration. They're an easy target, but they're not the only one as far as where the blame goes for where our country is at now. So everybody that was watching on Ustream, I appreciate you for watching. And we're still live on Blog Talk Radio here. Give me a call, 347-996-3175. I want to hear from you if you're out in Texas. If anybody from Massachusetts is listening, any Massachusetts voters, give me a call. I'm going to tweet that out there. If you're listening, give me a call. I want to hear what you had to say. Ustream, thank you for all the people that just joined in on Ustream. Got a few people watching still. Me personally, I would only watch the Ustream for a while. How long can you look at somebody just sitting here running their mouth like this, and and going on about this country and this great country of ours? Thank you again for everybody that's watching. How you doing? If you're just joining me on Ustream, thank you for joining in. We're having a nice night of people following this evening. We've got about 15 minutes left on the show. The issues that I talked about tonight, Scott Brown winning in Massachusetts, my visit to Carroll, Michigan for the Tea Party meeting last evening. It was a success. I think it was a complete success. You can always want a larger crowds and that sort of thing, but all you really want is people listening and people willing to do what it takes to make this a better country. So thank you again for everybody for bringing me up to Carroll, Michigan. Let's see here. Anybody joining me on the chat here? Conservative TNT, I see you're on the chat. Got a couple people here. All right. If you're listening to my show on Blog Talk Radio right now, I encourage you to join me on the chat room too. It's live. If you're watching me on Ustream, I got a couple different things going on. I got to decide if I'm going to continue to make it a multi-broadcast, if I'll just do a separate broadcast for Ustream and Blog Talk Radio. I think it gives everybody a great chance to interact, whether it be through the chats or through the Blog Talk Radio. So give me a call, 347-996-3175. I want to hear from you. Got about 15 minutes left on the show, and I appreciate everybody that's listening out there. Sir TNT, are you enjoying the show? I'm sending you a chat right now. All right, we got a couple people. We've had a few people checking in back and forth on Ustream this evening. You can also, like I said, I'm on Blog Talk Radio. Next month, I look forward to starting to bring out more guests. This being an election year, I think it's really important that we hear candidates, and we also can, spread the word. If it's someone who's not in our state, you might have relatives there, and you may, like I said, we need to hear a consistent message. Okay, we Great. All right, Conservative TNT, I appreciate that. You were over at Ustream and then you came over to Blog Talk Radio. I hope everybody this time is getting a good broadcast. Let me know if how the broadcast sounds because, again, this is we finally have switched it to I believe it will be a reliable system of being able to hear the callers being able to hear me. So I appreciate you listening in. Thank you, Conservative TNT. I appreciate you listening in. Lady Girl out in Alaska, when are you going to call in to the show? I want to hear from you. I don't forget my people out there. Give me a call. 347-996-3175. Where are my people in Massachusetts? Spread the word. Thank you. Thank you if you're listening. Thanks again. The low turnout in the in Boston in the urban areas is unfortunate. I think that's something that I want to work on, regardless of who you want to vote for. I think that there definitely needs to be more activism in the minority communities on a more yearly basis, and not just the election time, because this is the things that happen. I'd rather even though I'm a Republican, I'd rather see more of a turnout because, again, it only falls into the whole mind frame of us, of people not voting and the vote being in the bag. And, again, even with the Democrats, I think they're learning the tough way is that you can't just think that you got the urban and the minority vote in the bag and you don't have to actually go out there and work, and sending Obama 2 days before the election is not going to cut it. You're going to have to speak to the people and speak to the issues. Again, the people in Massachusetts, if anybody knows, they realize that socialized health care doesn't work. They've had it for a while in their state, and you can own the $50 abortion. So it doesn't work there, and it won't work for the country. They recognized it, and that's why they came out in such strong numbers today. And God bless you. We appreciate it. So if you're listening in on the radio show, I hope you are. Give me a call, 347-996-3175. I'd like to hear from you. We got a caller here. Caller, you're on the air.
Hello, Wayne. This is CK from Detroit. How are you this evening?
All right. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you. I voted for Obama, and I'm still an Obama supporter, but I've become rather concerned about some of the things that have been going on and some of the directions that he's taking. And actually, it's been interesting to me that a lot of the organizations that send me emails and send emails to a lot of people who have been supporters of the Democrats and or Obama. We've been getting a lot of messages that we need to take a stance against what they're trying to push through in terms of health care reform. So I think you're really on point. This defeat of Brown's defeat of Coakley in Massachusetts, I think you're right on point that this is a wake-up call to Democrats and Republicans to listen to the people,
I think for a long time now, the politicians kind of like they trick us to voting for them, and then they don't really want to hear from us again until the next election cycle. They're up there playing with everybody's money and making rules and not involving the people. I understand that we've elected them to make the decisions, but their job is still to come back to their constituents and to the voters and to make sure that we agree and that we're in agreement with them to an extent of what they're doing. And when you've got people calling your offices and protesting at your offices and showing up and emailing you, I don't understand why you would want to ignore that. And I think that's what they've got to do. If you want to keep your job, Republican or Democrat, you're going to have to start listening to the people.
I totally agree with you. And by the way, I watched you last night on Ustream. I enjoyed your presentation at the Tea Party. Good job.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I enjoyed myself, and I thought that was a very good experience. And like I said, a couple people asked me to maybe show up at a few more events. So I look forward to it. I mean, again, I don't hide my feelings that I'm with the Republican Party, but I'm with the people, and you gotta, it starts with that. You gotta hold all these guys accountable. Stop letting them just run off to D.C. with a good job and not listening to the people. So I don't see how anybody on either side of the aisle could really disagree with that at this point. These guys, the only thing they can agree on is when it's time to take care of the big banks and the big insurance companies, and I think that's unfortunate because we all lose when that happens.
That's true. That's true. Yes.
Well,
one of the things that I was impressed by that you said last night was that you said, in order of priority, I'm a Christian, I'm a conservative, and I'm a Republican in that order.
Right.
I like that. I respect that. And it had struck me later after I saw the your presentation. A lot of the things you were saying are really common. Well, what one would consider common sense, but common sense seems to have flown right out of the window here in recent years.
Common sense conservatism, but also just common sense government. I mean
True.
Overall our government is losing, just a lot of common sense in the way they pass bills and the way they're trying to, like I said, slide things in under. And again, the disappointment I guess that I would have. I didn't vote for Obama, but what I would have would be the fact that he promised that he would be so much different than everybody else. Most politicians don't. That's not what their motto is. They might say they're going to improve something or they're going to change this or that, but his whole thing was about change and not doing all the special interest and looking out for only a certain amount of people, and he was going to look out for the people and listen, and you could send him an email and he was going to do, it's going to be different, and it really hasn't been. So that's where I guess my disappointment with that would be.
I think he's also found out that even though something tells me that once one gets into power on any level, if we're talking about in Washington or Lansing or wherever, one may have the greatest aspirations, but he can't just pass things on his own.
Oh no! Well, that's a big part of it too. He's
unfortunately, deals will have to be made in order to get. That's unfortunate. But apparently, that's the way it is. If they want votes, then they have to make deals.
Right.
That's bad, but apparently that's the reality of the situation.
Yep. Well, we just got to keep all of our politicians' feet to the fire. Again, regardless of your party, I encourage everybody to start sending letters out to your leaders in your areas and stay diligent to it. And I think that's where, if you want real change, that's where it's going to start.
I agree with you. Well, I just wanted to call in, and I enjoy your broadcasts, and keep up the good work.
All righty. Thanks, CKB, who's also my mom, for everybody that's listening. Thanks, Mom. I will talk to you later.
Okay, son. Take care.
Love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Thank my mom for calling in, her Obama-supporting self. Love her to death. But, hey, we all make mistakes, Mom, 2012, I just got to work on you a little bit harder. That's all. We got to get some good candidates out there. So, again, that's why I can always joke around with all the liberals and have a good time because, Obama supporters and stuff. It's nothing personal. I love my family and friends, or even the ones that, the majority of them voted for him. I think now, everyone's starting to realize, and again, he's not doing this by himself. But, his biggest thing was advertising was change, and he was going to be different. So, I guess, again, that's kind of like where we're at with that. And that lies, I guess, for me, would be some of the disappointment with that. If you're listening in, everybody, I got a few more minutes here. Give me a call, 347-996-3175. Wind it down here. We got about 5 minutes left on the show this evening. Had a good night of people checking in, watching on Ustream for a while. Thank you for everybody that's checked in. Appreciate it. All right. Giving out everybody my last shout out here that wants to join me on Ustream. This is this is a interactive experience where you can call in, you can talk, you can send me, we can do direct chats. It's all meant to, again, give the most interactive and personal experience to talking, radio talk shows and talking politics. Don't be shy. Give me a call in, 347-996-3175. I want to hear from you. Mel, if you're ever listening, I want you to call in and tell me about what happened to the real conservatives and where they're at. How do you feel about the Tea Parties? If you're listening out there, Mel, out in Northern California, give me a call. I want to hear from you. We never got to talk. I look up to you. You're a real conservative, and I want to hear from you. 347-996-3175. Got 4 minutes left on the show. Got some new viewers that's checking in on Ustream. How you doing? Thanks for checking in. It's been a wild night of politics. Watching Brown win out in Massachusetts. We got all kinds of people calling in and expressing their happiness about that. I hope you're enjoying the show, everybody. Hopefully the reception and it's a lot better now. We've changed up a lot of the technical issues, so everything should be a lot smoother now. Give me a call, 347-996-3175. Democrats, where are you? I'm sure you guys are probably pretty scared right now. 2010, if you're losing to Massachusetts, where are you safe? That would be my question. Start listening to the people. Obama, you might want to pick up that red phone that's on Glenn Beck's show. Give him a call. He represents a lot of people. Give him a call. He wants to hear from you. A lot of things going on out there, so give me a call. 347-996-3175. Again, in a couple weeks, that will be the next phase of the show. I've kind of, in the beginning here, I've kind of wanted to make sure all the technical issues and things were in place and stellar before I started reaching out and trying to bring guests on. I think now, after this show here and last week, we have enough comfort, and we're going to start reaching out and bringing people on because this is a good medium for candidates to speak to people, and they can use this for their websites and things for podcasts. So it's a great way. So if you're listening, or if you're a campaign manager or anything like that, and you have a good candidate and fits the bill for conservative is cool, send them over. I'd love to talk to them. I'll do some research on them, and we'll probably get them on the show. So give me a call, 347-996-3175. We only got 2 minutes left, so we're kind of winding down. Hi to everybody that's watching me on Ustream this evening. I appreciate it. We're going to start again in the next month or so. We're going to start bringing in other guests to kind of make it a little more exciting. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get people live in my office here. This is the home office, but we'll definitely be doing a lot of maybe phone interviews and also doing a Ustream where I could interview him and we can both kind of each other. So we're winding down here for the evening on the show. Thank everybody that called in. Patrick, thanks for calling from Lansing. Coco, thank you for calling from Beverly Hills. I appreciate it. CKB, my mom, thank you for calling in. I really appreciate everybody that's listening. A lot of times I see the next day I had a lot of people listening and just don't call in. Don't be shy. Call in. This is what this show is for. Not meant for just for me to talk all evening. I really do enjoy engaging with people, whether you agree or disagree. I even don't mind some of you people that disagree calling in and want to chew me out a little bit. It's okay. Give me a call. Next week's show will be at 10 o'clock Eastern, same time. We're also going to start thinking about doing some things during the daytime, too. 347-996-3175 is the call-in number. Go to conservativeiscool.com. That is the website. We just created some new logos that just came out today, so I'm going to be uploading those, and I want to hear from everybody on your opinions. Thanks again to the Carroll, Michigan Tea Party, Senator Khan for coming to the Tea Party event, and everybody that's been listening on my show. I really appreciate it, and I hope you continue to listen to my show, Conservatives Cool Talk Radio. Thank you. God bless you. Good night.